And Dr. Tim Young is a chiropractor, entrepreneur, and the founder of Focus OKC, as well as the author of Millionaire Chiropractor, a playbook for turning purpose into profit. Dr. Young likes to point out that with far too many people, our motivation fades, our hustle eventually burns people out, and the real path to success comes from structure and discipline. How does he know? Well, he's been training doctors for years and has taught entrepreneurs around the world routines that create confidence, focus, and freedom. And we say good morning to you, Dr. Young.
Good morning. I really, really appreciate you having me.
Well, good to have you on. We're talking beyond chiropractic now, and I'm a big believer in chiropractic. I've been going to chiropractors for many, many years for my issues beyond back. But I wish, in areas, we could do a whole separate show on how many chiropractors struggle with their business because of the insurance industry and whatnot. And they
Yeah.
could use your inspiration, especially here in the Northeast where you have a chiropractor on every corner. So the competition is a lot higher than in other parts of the country. But that, like I said, that's another show for another day. You define discipline in a way that actually gives people more freedom, especially during the holidays. So talk about what that means.
Well, discipline is one of those things. It's a self realization. It's taking responsibility for your own actions. I've seen this my entire life, and you mentioned chiropractors struggling. I for every one chiropractor that you can show me that is struggling, I can give you five that have million dollar practices down the street. And why? It's one of the biggest principles that I teach is that no one's coming to save you. And the biggest principle that everybody that if they want to stay disciplined and they want to navigate through the holidays is this: who you are is so much more important than what you do, because what you do will be a direct reflection on who you are. If you want to, lose weight through the holidays, well, then who you are is more important than actually what you're doing to lose weight. If you want to remove stress, who you are is so much more important than the things that you're doing to actually reduce stress. You've got to spend a little bit of time with looking in the mirror and asking yourself, that person I look at, do I trust them? Do I believe them? Do I respect them? Do I honor them? Do I actually love that person? And then if you can say yes, then the discipline comes easy. But if you say no, or you're iffy on some of those things, then you need to do some, self-actualization and figure out, who this is moving forward. Then the discipline comes easy. Discipline is just all that is a reflection of who you are on the inside. The way, and those are the principles that I teach.
Yeah, I love that, doctor. And one of the things I think too many people, far too many people do is they put things off. It's just easy to just put things out of your mind and worry about it later. And then later never comes. What I have for years done, and I'm looking for my phone. My phone is streaming on social media right now, so I can't put it up. Oh, I have an extra. So that has replaced my address book. I used to have an address and appointment book, and I used to make appointments. I was taught 40 years ago. If you want to get something done, write it down and then do not stop until you check that off. And that has helped me achieve so much in my life, because then you're kind of forced to reconcile with yourself what you wrote down. You have to answer to yourself if you don't do what was on that list. Do you find that that's true for a lot of people, that they wish they could do something and they never sit down to do it?
Yeah, and it's interesting about that list. So many people will do that. They'll hear you and they'll write a list and they'll take the list and put it in their drawer and never look at it again. Dr. Ben Hardy is someone that admire so much, and he says this is if you want to raise the ceiling, if you want to reach the ceiling of your goals and your potential, then you've got to raise the floor. The distance between the floor and the ceiling, if there's further away, it makes it harder to achieve. And the way we raise the floor is the things that we tolerate. We remove unnecessary things. We tolerate so much, like you said, the phone, social media, things that we eat that we know we shouldn't, movies and TV that we watch at night when we should be out walking and exercising. There's so many things that we tolerate in our lives that lower the floor, and every time you lower the floor, that's just that much further to your ceiling, to your goals. I teach this in a chiropractic practice. Every thought, word, and action has to have a specific purpose. If it doesn't, it's unnecessary and it's irrelevant, and all it does is pull your energy. It distracts you from what you truly say that you want. And this is probably the biggest, Ken, this is the biggest thing that I see with everybody that I work with. They say one thing and they do another. I want to get in shape.
Hmm.
Yeah, but you haven't been to the gym all week. I want to make more money. Well, yeah, but you show up late at work and you leave early, and every opportunity that you have, you call in. Your actions and your words have got to be congruent. One of my mentors, it comes from the book Atlas Shrugged, my favorite book of all time. The greater the contradiction, the greater the destruction. But even a little contradiction leads to little destructions. And when you add those destructions up, well, then at the end of the year, then everybody's hustling around trying to figure out what they're going to do now. And then they use January as a rescue mission. And it just doesn't hold water. You have got to maintain this discipline, like we talked about in the beginning, through the entire year. Yes, you can write those things down, which is wonderful. And I think it's powerful, but you actually have to read it. And then
Yeah.
it's like writing your workout. I'm going to do these exercises when I go to the gym.
Right.
But you actually have to go to the gym, and then you have to pull up your exercises. So is putting it. The point is action. You can write things
Yeah.
down, but you got to take action on them.
Doc, only because we're down to about 30 seconds. I want to make sure we get you're the author of Millionaire Chiropractor. What's the website for more info, Doctor?
The website for Millionaire Chiropractor is millionairechiropractor.com. And then any information about me speaking and teaching is focusfoundations.com.
Love it. Chiropractor, entrepreneur, founder of Focus OKC, and author of Millionaire Chiropractor. Great man, Dr. Tim Young. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming on, and Merry Christmas, sir.
Ken, I'm honored. Appreciate you very much. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you, sir.